This is Radio Free Cybertron, episode 746. And I queued up the pre-show on our Patreon to start at 746. I think I'm going to follow the numbers until we hit. Actually, you can't do 800 because that would be 760. I'm just going to shut up. I'm Brian Kilby. With me this week, we have not Don because he rage quit during pre-show. That's an exaggeration, a slight one, but he did get a little irritated with Matt and myself, and
I have no idea why. We're delightful.
Yeah, so if you're a patron, check out. We got a lot of great feedback in the Patreon, Discord at tfradio.net/Discord in respect to pre-show. If you're not a patron, you should be, but you can go back and watch the video on YouTube, and we have that there. But podcast form is at patreon.com/tfradio. So that was Matt. John is also here, maybe. I don't know. His face is here.
Yo.
He's here. John, I'm getting my PS5 tomorrow, and the first game I'm going to buy is Street Fighter 5.
Great.
Awesome,
That's
Rob.
great, Brian. Hey, how are you getting it?
I got it through GameStop.
Oh, cool. So, you got it, and the pickup is tomorrow?
They're shipping it. It's in transit right now.
Ah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Did you get the disc system?
Yes. Yeah, I got the disc system.
Yeah, I lucked out on the Sony Direct Lottery myself. Just
sweet.
Got into the queue in the middle of making dinner and managed to get the PS5 without burning anything. So I feel very accomplished with everything I did yesterday.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. We can maybe compare notes on it. Of course, you already have a PS4. I don't. So the whole library isn't new to me. So.
Oh, yeah. 2 recommendations, and then I'm sure we have to keep moving. 2 recommendations. One, Horizon.
Okay.
So that's PS4 game. Play that. The sequel comes out next year.
Okay.
So gotta play it. You gotta play it. The second one is Hades. That's everybody's game of the year from last year, but it's warranted.
Okay.
Yeah, Hades is really good.
Yeah.
Cool.
Hades you can just download or buy now, and Horizon's probably pretty cheap at this point. So there you go.
So tfradio.net/Discord. Rick said, when I get a PS5, I'm going to play Grand Theft Auto number 5. It's actually the best-selling game on PS5, apparently, I saw. It's crazy.
Yeah, no doubt.
So that was also Rob, is also getting a PS5 tomorrow. Excited about that. Diecast, who I think has 2 PS5s.
No, I have one. I've a PS5 for me and an Xbox Series X or 1X or whatever they call it. There's
I think it's Series
systems.
X.
Yeah, he has that. His broke actually, and Microsoft keeps sending him a return label to send it back for repairs. And every time you open up the return label, it says error.
No.
So he actually can't ship it back.
Boo.
He's tried for 3 weeks. So yeah, Microsoft apparently can't send a proper PDF. But yeah, I have a PlayStation 5. I lucked out the first day that came out and went on Walmart's website and got one.
Cool. There's also Matt.
Yeah, we started with me, but okay. I don't have a PS5.
Did we start with you? Okay, I thought we started with John. Okay, oh, there you go. And Chris.
Yes, as it turns out, I'm here too.
So, hey, couple things. So, we're putting a little more focus back on our Patreon. So, Rob has taken over hosting duties for History on the Fives, or Hot 5, and I've listened to it, and I absolutely love it. That was awesome, Rob. I can't wait to hear more of that. So,
I hear it's way better than I hear it's way better than the last guy.
It is way better than the last guy.
Yeah, with that first host, I never bothered listening to the show at all.
Yeah, like not gonna lie, I just basically I love talking to the guys. I genuinely miss. I'll miss that. I'm gonna maybe pop on or something, or maybe figure out a way to stay connected that way. But just as far as recording it goes, timing just never worked out. I just could never, I always had to move it, and I was always rushed for time. So I just never gave it the TLC that it needed.
I mean, a possible solution for that would have been to have History on the Fives with your 3 kids.
That I would do with the What's Happened to the Headmasters podcast. Basically, have lay people on it, and I like that idea. So I've still got episodes of What's Happened to the Headmasters that I haven't posted yet. I actually
recorded 5 years ago.
Yeah, 4 years ago. But
Excuse me.
but I was actually talking about, and this is not a promise, but this is something I am planning on doing.
You should wait until next year, and then you can release them as episodes of History on the Fives.
That's funny. But what I wanted to do is start off with maybe our patrons at the touch tier, the folks that do History on the Fives, maybe finish that podcast off with them. I got a third of the way through. What's Happening to the Headmasters was basically a podcast that I started back in 2017, where we would listen or watch the Malaysian dubs of the Headmasters cartoon with people who don't know a thing about Transformers, and basically just get their perspective. And then it basically moved to fans of Transformers, because I just ran out of people who were willing to spend time with me to watch dubbed Transformers cartoons. So
the Headmasters is best in the original Hong
Kong English, yeah,
Malaysian dubs, yeah.
But I really want to finish that off, and I'll probably use folks from the patrons at the touch tier, kind of like we do with History on the Fives. But History on the Fives is, Rob already basically nailed it in the first episode. It's the way that he described it. I never had a good, consistent description of the show. But that's a show that we do each week for patrons. It's a patron-only podcast, and if you're a patron at the touch tier, you can actually be on it. So I moved into this house a year ago, and I got off track with. Yeah, I know, over a year now. But I got off track with our Throwback podcast, which is a monthly podcast for patrons, and it just got worse and worse. It just what's steamrolled or not steamrolled, whatever the word is. It just got worse, and we're like a year back on that show. So working on catching up on that now. So we'll do 2 episodes a month of that until we catch up, which will be for a year. So there's a lot of content that and of course our pre-show is a podcast for patrons. So there's a lot of stuff that we have on the Patreon that's exclusive to that. Of course, this show will always be free, but we do a lot of extra content for folks there. So if you're interested, patreon.com/tfradio. So yeah, I'm excited about Throwback. I recorded the segment last night. I'm gonna record like the second segment for the show tonight, and I've got a bunch of other stuff that I'll be using. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. What else? What else do we need to plug? John, how are the shirts going?
The shirts are going fabulous. I got to check the sale dates to see what our sale dates are in October, but I'll tweet those out when I get those. And Brian, if I ever have some free time from dad work and full-time employment, I will crank out some new shirts. But until then, I can at least give everyone heads up on sale dates.
Honestly, I think I just need to do a better job of promoting that stuff, because like the shirts, the designs we have are great. I actually got a compliment on one a couple days ago, just out at Walgreens. The cashier laughed out loud at the middle-aged toy collector shirt. And
indeed, I need to cut you your big fat monthly check, actually, Brian. As a reminder, the sales do support the show.
Yes, that is true. And Rick pointed out that John DeLuna is cool, and we need a new Don shirt, and non-ETF said. And I want to point out, the first segment for Throwback that I recorded was with Rick, and he pointed out on the phone that John DeLuna is cool. He made a point. Man. He made a point to tell me that.
Tell my kids. Tell my wife.
Yes. Tell Jamie. Yes.
They won't believe us.
No. Let's see here. TFCon is coming up in less than a month, and so is Hasbro PulseCon. Right now,
same weekend.
Yeah, same weekend. Right now, Matt and Diecast, you're still planning on going to PulseCon, right?
TFCon?
TFCon.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it's
I
the
would
rest
go
of
to
us that are going to PulseCon.
Yeah, I'm going to PulseCon.
I can't figure out how to get there.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sad that I'm not going, but I'm not going to risk it.
Same, sadly.
Well,
I doubt
I
there's gonna
mean,
be
if
another one of these in my backyard anytime soon.
Yeah.
I mean, if people aren't following the protocols and masking up and everything like that, I can always just retreat to the hotel room. So,
yeah.
And I'm vaccinated.
Oh yeah, me too.
Well, yeah.
We're
Me
all
too, but
vaccinated.
still.
Get vaccinated.
Yeah, it's important to get
It's
vaccinated.
very important. But yeah, just with the way things are, and I'll be honest with you, the only thing, TFCon is a lot of fun, but I'm assuming that a lot of people won't be there because of circumstances. One, two, I don't know that there's a lot of panels that have been announced or guests that like I'm super stoked about. Again, mostly because of COVID. It's not fair to TFCon because they put on a great show. But like the thing I normally love about TFCon is the dealer room. And I'm just like, at this point, like I'm trying to put a pause on like most of my buying because I don't have room for like what I have right now until I get some more work done in the basement. So I just really can't, I don't have a place to put anything. Like I literally, by buying more stuff, I'm literally delaying getting my basement finished. So
I'm going pretty much strictly for the social aspect of it this time because I know a couple of people that will be there for certain that I want to talk to. So
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. So
And also diecast.
and also
yes, he'll be there too.
he'll be there too. Yeah.
At least we'll have Wheeljack 64 in the room to counterbalance that out. So
That'll be a lot of fun. That'll be
Yeah.
great. I don't think there's anything else. Hasbro PulseCon. If there's anything that happens, we may do like a emergency podcast, but I don't think we'll do an emergency podcast for PulseCon. So didn't not Hasbro, but didn't Toy Fair say that they were going to try to delay Toy Fair and do one later in the year?
I haven't heard any
Yep.
follow up on that though.
Same, yeah.
that was something they had talked about for last year that just never happened.
I thought it was this year. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah,
What does time even mean anymore?
It is
Yeah.
the fire in which we burn.
that's right. Yeah. Night Sword said by Brian saying that everyone will try to make him buy more stuff.
What else is new?
I bought a couple things I shouldn't have bought this week. So, I did not buy the thing I emailed you guys about last night. Fortunately,
Oh, I thought you did because I logged on and I was like, oh, it's sold out.
yeah. Somebody
Yeah,
jumped
yeah.
on that. Yeah.
Somebody probably bought it out of the storefront unless you linked it from just their warehouse location.
Yeah. So
I'd have probably let it go anyway because I scrolled down to the description. It said it was a reproduction.
that's what it did. I mean that was their. I mean that's what they describe reissues. That's
Oh.
how reissues are translated. So yeah. But yeah. Just the C69 Toys R Us edition
Powered Convoy.
Powered Convoy. Yeah. Ultra Magnus, the Powered
And it's-
Convoy color.
Beautiful colors.
Yeah, it's like I already have it, but like I've gotten to the point, spoilers, where I'm trying to hoard stuff that I've always wanted. I might have done that this week, and I'll talk about it later. Yes, I might have 4. Oh God, I shouldn't say when I have 4 off. Okay, I'll shut up. I'll keep going. Yeah. So awkward transition. Let's go ahead and talk about what happened in the news this week. So something happened with Star Saber.
So diecast. How is Star Saber's funding going right now?
Something funny happened today because it was at like what 8,500, and then all of a sudden it jumped up to
It was over
It
9,000.
was at 9,500.
It was at 9,500, and then all of a sudden it was backed. It was like
Yes, that happens
magic.
when people place orders. Diecast.
Yes.
No, what I think happened, and I could be wrong, is they opened it up to Japan
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
they waited till like I don't know.
They waited until
10,
they had
11
enough to
o'clock.
They
pass
waited.
funding.
They waited until about 2,000 or so people had backed it in Japan, and then updated the number.
Yeah, and now it's backed. So
11
Now
and
we
a half
have-
days early.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah.
you know it. I mean, I'll give you a second to do the math here, but I think that's about a month faster than Unicron went.
Yeah. It's also cost a lot less.
Almost a month and a half, actually.
hey,
Mm.
I will have. I must admit, I will have an easier time finding a spot on my shelf for this.
Yeah.
I would
believe it or
imagine so.
not.
So
Yeah.
I've had my Unicron now for like 4 months and I still haven't transformed it. I will probably transform that today I get it.
Yes, we're currently at 11,840 out of 11,000
So
needed.
is this?
Oh, they've picked up like 250 since this afternoon.
Yeah, is this the
Yes.
Takara pre-orders that they've included, or is it something different?
That seems the most likely. They may be counting those in real time now.
Yeah, instead of bulk.
Yeah, with Unicron, they just kind of came
Dumped
in fits and bursts. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they do them in bulk. I could be wrong, but I think now what you're getting is now that it got backed. That's
some of
when
that.
Now they're doing it in real time.
that's when scalpers jump on and they're like, "Oh, I'll buy a couple to sell later."
Well, yeah,
Or-
we always know that's going to happen. Every time something is actually going to happen, people will start doubling up. So for
And it's
resale
limit
value.
5. It's limit
Yeah.
5 per person. Which honestly for this
email.
I think is silly. I mean, it's made to order.
Yeah, it's weird when you put a limit on made to order stuff.
Yeah, if somebody wants to buy 10,000 of them, I'm fine with that. Do it.
Well, I mean, there is still like a practical limit that manufacturing can support.
I mean, but they're not going to make
And
a
also
million of
there's-
them.
And also, there's the possibility of like cancellations or things that do
But-
not properly fund.
Yeah,
afterwards
there's
that
a
could
lot of
really-
risk limiting behaviors here that can be explained in limit 5.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, honestly, it could even be illegal. It could even be a money laundering deal. Honestly. So yes, I'm serious when I say that. I mean, criminals find creative ways to launder money all the time, and in
Yeah.
something like this is a pretty safe bet that this is going to get you're going to get your product and you could sell it later at a profit. So, but yeah, so it's at
11.8 ish.
840. So, with 11 days left, what's our over under now, and what do we think it's going to wind up at?
16,000. It'll fall just short of getting that stand that nobody wants.
Yeah,
Mm.
I had guessed 20, which I'm starting to think is more feasible now. I was starting to think it was a little high.
I'm honestly thinking. I think it'll hit that threshold of the crappy stand. I think we'll hit that.
So like we're over the goal now. So this is actually happening.
Yeah.
And like we've still had, 840 more people back at over
Yeah.
that today. And these things always on the end have the people that wait till the last day
Yeah.
and make sure they're going to have the money to cover this whenever they get charged.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, the
that's what
crazy
usually
last
when
minute
numbers
backing.
start piling up.
So,
Yeah.
how do you pay for this? What is it? Is it credit card?
Yeah.
So, I guess if you really wanted it, and you if you don't have a credit card or a debit card, one thing I've seen offered a lot lately, and I think they're going public, is Affirm, and they basically offer virtual credit cards. Is what I've read up on, and so
Some PayPal accounts now are also enabled to generate virtual credit card numbers that draw from a PayPal balance.
yeah. So I mean, if you're curious how you want to pay for it, I mean that's another option if you don't want a credit card.
I was saying that's one thing I really wish they would do with this is accept PayPal. That way, if it is over,
Don could use this 6 months, same as cash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, it would at least spread it out a little bit for you to pay it.
Yeah.
So I wish Hasbro would just offer that. I mean, I know it kind of defeats the
On their
purpose of
eBay store, they do.
crowdfunding, but what's that?
if you buy from their eBay store, you can use PayPal.
Oh, okay. But yeah, no, I mean, I wish they would give you an option like, QVC it, 3
Easy
easy
pay.
payments of $19.99 or.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, PayPal does that. So to stay within my toy budget lately, if I want to make a big purchase, I'll do the pay it in 4 on PayPal. And that way I can just, I get paid every 2 weeks and I can just make a big purchase. I want to stay within my budget. I don't want to overspend on this stuff anymore. So that's how I picked up Deathsaurus when I got it. I just, said my toy budget for the next month is going to be this. I did it, pay it in whatever, and, that way I can not dip into my bank account and, pay it, just with my toy money.
I do want to mention too before we move on to the next thing. I believe I originally said 25,000 for this.
I wouldn't be shocked.
I'm gonna stick
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah, that sounds right. You guessed high, Brian guessed low, and I guessed in the middle. So
Yeah, I didn't think we were going to hit this by this point. So, and especially since it's gone the Takara route, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there was as many people who bought it from Japan as the U.S. Honestly,
Well, we've suspected all along that the Japanese market is probably going to make up the bulk of the purchases for this.
yeah, they're the ones that voted Star Saber into a masterpiece several years ago. So
Hmm.
we know there's
Interest.
a desire for the character.
Yeah. And that masterpiece never had a victory Leo to go with it, so there's
it did
an
not.
added benefit here.
Although we always suspected that there was gonna be one.
Well,
And-
I think there was signs in Star Saber that they had, future proofed it
yeah.
in case they got
Yeah.
around to making masterpiece victory Leo, but obviously, I
they-
don't think that's ever happening now.
yeah, okay.
Well, I don't know if this HasLab project is successful enough to show that there's still interest, they might go back and finish it off.
Yeah, they could.
That would be good. I would like that.
Yeah, they might want to also like do something to restore the surface or the finish on Star Saber for all the people who there's yellowed over the years. So mine hasn't. I just never cared for that toy.
Mine's in a box somewhere, so I don't know if it yellowed or not.
Mine's standing proudly right over there.
Yeah. For whatever reason, I just never cared for that masterpiece. Yeah, cool. Anything else on this one?
Just we
Okay.
don't really have to worry that much about getting that VLOC cannon now, because for sure it's going to pass that
Yeah.
first.
Hashtag
Register.
victory over Unicron.
So
Yep.
he's going to need what that there's no announcement for his shield.
Yeah, so the shield has appeared in some of the renders or stock images that they added, but it has not officially been added to the campaign so far.
Come on, we need the shield. Reveal the shield.
Hey,
Okay. So there's been a lot of stuff. Like if you look at our thumbnail for YouTube this week, I did that earlier today, and I had what is it, Jackpot and whatever the other
Puffer and Road Ranger.
yeah, Puffer and Road Ranger on the thing. Then the whole Tigatron thing popped, and I'm like, oh crap! So instead of like redoing it, I just like pasted the Tigatron onto it. And I guess we're gonna have something else tomorrow, probably.
Yeah, the last one in the
Pterosaur.
series.
What is it?
Terrorsaur.
Is it okay? So
It's not Wheeljack?
No, it's not Wheeljack.
Hmm.
So yeah, like this has just been a weird week. Because we had
Like Monday was Transformers Tuesday, and then Tuesday was Transformers Tuesday, and today, Wednesday, was also Transformers Tuesday.
And this is in pre-show when I was saying I was going to say, Chris was right, because Tuesday when we got the second one, he tweeted that, oh, I guess we're gonna get one a day now, and he was pretty right about that.
yeah.
Which is it's weird that they're just dropping these like in succession in the same week.
Yeah,
Gosh, Friday they could throw in a shattered glass or something just for the heck of it.
Yeah, last time when they did the Galactic Odyssey set, they stretched those releases.
those are a
way
few
out.
weeks apart each.
Yeah.
So I think Puffer and Road Ranger look great.
Yep.
I genuinely, I'm very excited about them. Jackpot looks okay.
Yeah.
Jackpot's exactly what I expected it to be.
Yeah, like I like Jackpot. I love Action Masters. I'm not a huge Action Masters fan, but
Yeah.
I think they're very cool.
Where's all the love for Rad? Come on, we need.
The Tigatron, I think it was Scotty from Cybertron's Twincast. I think it was him. He today on Twitter had pointed out that with that Cheetor mold in production now for the Walmart reissue, he would much rather have that toy in that color scheme than than this, and I completely agree with that. I would much rather have that. I guess it's a shame we're not going to get it, but I would much rather have the original mold or an approximation of it in place than this. But I'll take it. Let's see here if you're watching the video. Got putting Jackpot up. So what's the name of his little buddy?
Sights.
Okay. What else is left for that mold? Is there anything that Jazz mold that they haven't done with it yet?
Oh, they're making the knockout next year from Prime.
Okay.
They haven't made a
You-
wheelie out of it yet.
That's true.
Yeah, they can do
You
that.
could go the BotCon route and do a kickoff.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
And
we
also,
could get a good
the-
ricochet.
Shattered Glass Tread Shot, which was the blue and yellow.
We didn't get a
Botcon
ricochet
toy.
from it?
No,
Not yet.
or Stepper, whichever name you prefer.
Yeah, I prefer Stepper.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would
No,
make a better
the last
Stepper.
Stepper. Yeah, the last Stepper we got was from Power of the Primes, which is a thing that happened.
Yeah, this would make a much better one.
I'm sure it'll happen at some point since we're getting an Art Fire.
Yeah, and what we would need to use Nightstick as his partner.
There's Battle Masters.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, it looks good. Don't love
They
it.
could also make an alternator Shockwave out of that mold.
Oh,
yes.
yeah. And that's something that it feels like they might actually do with the Legacy line being more, even though it's G1 adjacent. It just seems like it's something that would be more in the cards than what we might have in the past with other potential lines showing up with toys. So
Yeah, they could just basically do with this mold what they did with the Siege Sideswipe mold or any
yeah.
Seeker mold ever, and just keep cranking it out in new colors.
Yeah, because we're always going to need replacements when that clear glass canopy shears
Yeah.
off.
Well, yeah, they could replace that, and I would be absolutely fine with it. God, I hate giant chunks of clear plastic. Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, giant chunks of clear plastic are the new chrome, are the new stickers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And today, let me go back to show notes. We got our Tigatron. Let me show that. People watching the video.
Yeah, so
TF Radio.net
Tigatron's kind of
/live.
fun. Tigatron's kind of fun because it goes with that Black Arachnia from the 4-pack in a way.
Yeah.
Where both of those toys represent card art versions of those characters that weren't really, they didn't match the original toys that they came with.
Yeah, I can't help but look at Tigatron and think that was a knockoff toy that somebody bought at the zoo in the gift shop.
Yeah, I saw that going around on Twitter today too.
Yeah, but I mean is that what that was? I saw that Mock Tackle had shared that. But I thought that was like a reference to like that educational card set.
Oh yeah, maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
Same spirit though.
Yeah, same spirit. Yeah, but it looks like the thing. I have something that looks almost exactly like this that I got at the zoo, like 3 years ago. Just doesn't have a mutant head.
Yeah, the head is weird.
It's correct for the original Cheetor and Tigatron toys, which is what they're going for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Shadow Panther has the same head, just in a smaller mold.
I think my favorite thing though was what I saw today, where the photographer that John pointed out, the photographer did not really sell the whole use of ankle tilts.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was something that happened. Anybody else have any ideas or thoughts around old Tigatron here?
All I know is the Beast Wars repaints or deep cuts or whatever you want to call it. Some reason they just don't feel as exciting as non-Beast Wars stuff.
That's because you're a bad and joyless little child, Diecast.
I'm not going to disagree with that because just so far, I think that's a byproduct of maybe the brand team or the design team. I think they may. It just feels to me like they are not the level of fans when it comes to like the Beast Wars era stuff as the RG1, and I don't know that there are that many Beast Wars deep cuts that they can go to. Like, I would almost rather them do something crazy and sort of go back to what Aaron's team did back with Beast Wars, which is take a Beast Wars toy and then throw something new on it, like that Grimlock. Yeah, of course we got the Grimlock Dinobot repaint, but take one of the Beast Wars toys, repaint it, and make it something crazy, kind of like they did with Beast Machines with Super Primal Prime. Make Tarantulas into I don't know, Dirge or something, and give it a crazy paint job to make it look, just something like that. I think I would actually like that better than trying to go for some of the Beast Wars deep cuts and, kind of missing it. Like in my mind, that Grimlock isn't even a deep cut because he was a retail toy.
And also, they got it completely wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think one thing that's not helping this is, and I don't know why they're doing it, because I don't know if it's a good idea. It's like really, like they're dropping one every day for 4 or 5 days in a row.
Yeah.
4 days.
That really minimizes each one, because it's like, well, I mean, so they most of them, all of them, are going to sell out the same day. They get dropped 5 days in a row. Like, they don't feel like a big deal. Like, it just doesn't feel like a big deal. Like, if you blink, you'll miss it. I mean, I guess that's part of the draw, but it doesn't really feel exciting. It's not really drummed up. So, I mean, they'll send an email if you subscribe to the Pulse emails. They'll tweet pictures. It's about it. And like every 24 hours, they're doing it, and then it's going to be done in a week. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't feel like an event. I don't even know. Did Tigatron end up having like a banner on Pulse, like on the Pulse homepage? Did he even get a graphic? He didn't get one immediately.
No, probably not, because it's a partner exclusive.
See,
yeah.
So even stuff like that, like, even if there are reasons, it's still kind of like, like, you guys don't make it feel like it's a big deal. On top of Beast Wars not having like all this different like lore that they can just draw from. And especially with this one, this side story that they've built, which is kind of cool, but also kind of weird because it's a side story where everybody died. Huh. So like these are the remaining guys, which is a cool, but also kind of like, okay. And then just their weird treatment of Beast Wars characters in general within like the Netflix show and some other things they're doing. It's weird. It's just weird the way they, I don't know. It's like Brian, kind of like you were saying, like their grasp of Beast Wars seems a little bit off.
Yeah. Like as far as like the Netflix series goes, I would like. I think the subtitle of that series should be like Dinobot abbreviated. Sort of like the whole Dinobot arc. They like squeezed into like 2 episodes. Hey, so real quick, I'm going to show for people watching the video. Anana TF showed the Jungle Discovery Expedition. Transforming Tiger Robot in Discord. Again, tfradio.net/Discord. So that, I've got that. But I realize now that mine is open because he's in robot mode, and it's not a very good robot mode.
One thing that really scares me about these Golden Disc toys is so far they're all going to be released on March 1st.
They're not. So Puffer and Road Ranger have been manufactured already. So they will get released as soon as they can get them boated over from Asia.
Yeah.
People have seen Pterosaur already, but have kept, the pictures confined to the closed circle. So none of the rest of us have seen that, but like there is production samples of that apparently that have been seen by people. Jackpot seemed to be the most question mark one because I don't think anybody had actually reported having seen a photo of that before the pre-order listing went up. But like at least that 2-pack is in manufacturing already and probably, off the packaging is just waiting to ship over, and then the rest shouldn't be too far behind. Like it's at this point, March is just like safety padding in case the logistics problems really bite them hard.
Yeah, because I was going to be like, that's a tough day when you got, 4 or 5 that release on the same day.
Yeah, so remember the Mirage and Wrong Grimlock and Sideswipe and Bird 2-packs that just came out? Both were slated for November 1st. those came out like a full month and a half early.
Hmm.
So the arrival dates we have for stuff right now has a lot of padding built into it. Amazon's pre-order for the Studio Series Sweep, which is on store shelves in Walmarts in places around the United States right now, had an arrival date for I think in 2022 also.
Huh.
Wow.
So they're hedging their bets here just because they don't want to get caught late on the stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not all gonna be March. It's probably just like all gonna drop in November at one time instead, because that'll be much better.
I was having a conversation today with somebody else who I'm going to remain nameless. Not that there's any, I talk to the person all the time, but the subject matter, how certain items have been slated to make a debut on store shelves at a certain date, and basically everything is slid. So yeah, it makes sense that, because basically everything earlier had come much later than expected, that, yeah, I totally agree. They're hedging their bets so that doesn't happen again, because everything else basically has been late. So, okay. So what else we got in the news? We have Modern Icons Soundwave helmet. Didn't this show up a while ago?
No, it's the
No.
Optimus Prime and the
Megatron.
Megatron.
This one looks better, I think.
It looks as good as the Optimus Prime one.
Yeah.
Which basically just proves like a helmet with a faceplate is pretty much their speed.
Yeah, Diecast, are you getting this?
I'm getting the Optimus Prime and the Megatron.
I'd rather
I
have
gotta-
this.
I gotta stop it there. Like,
Yeah, running out of heads.
yeah, I'm running out of room. Like, how many helmets can I have? And this one is actually $20 more. Why, I don't know. But
Because everything costs more now, Diecast.
Yeah.
well, that's true, but I still don't have the Prime or the Optimus helmet, so I don't know if they're really good. If they're really, really good, maybe I would get this one also. But I really just want the Prime and Optimus one to display, not to wear. As I hope most people buy these as display pieces and not to wear.
Why wouldn't you? So how much work would it take to make Soundwave into a decent Optimus Primal?
A lot. I think it would be better to start with the Optimus Prime helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you're right. 'Cause yeah. Okay. Well, never mind.
It kind of worries me too. They don't actually show the inside of this one.
'Cause it's
where
going to
I
hurt.
think-
It's not going to feel good.
No.
yeah.
Which of these helmets do you have so far? Like from G.I. Joe, did you get the Cobra Commander?
From this company,
Yeah. Is this the same one, right?
Modern Icon. I don't know. I
I think it is.
I'm pretty sure they made a Cobra Commander helmet.
Well, I've got it. It's not super comfortable. So,
No, because it is made to be a display piece. The put on your head thing is just kind of like, well, we have to make this hollow anyway.
Yeah.
So
I have a monstrous head, so it's amazing.
I know
it
I've seen
fits.
it in person.
Yeah, it's amazing it fits. but yeah, so I'm always uncomfortable with the idea of wearing one of these. But the fact that they're so large, just to make them like accommodate people like me with a huge melon on my head or on my shoulders, I don't know. But I think Soundwave looks good. It's $130 though. It's a little much.
A little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody get anything this week? Because we're done with news.
Yep.
Excited about what Matt's got.
Oh, you want me to go first? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you
said
spoke
you're
up.
the
You
only
spoke up.
one, so that's it. Yeah.
Still. So I got
Jealous.
my sweep to be my scourge
Jealous.
Oh, nice.
to go along with my 3 scourges that are my sweeps.
Where did you get it?
And CMD store.
Okay.
I just knuckled down and paid for the shipping. I'm impatient sometimes. So, but
Did
you can.
get any NAWs while you were there?
They did not have any.
Aw.
Oh, okay.
Now that you explained why you did that, I can totally see it.
Oh yeah.
So the blues, it's not showing up real well on my camera, but the blues are significantly different on these things. So the sweep really stands out. However, all of his joints are just a little bit looser than on the original release,
Huh.
which considering it costs $2 more now is, a little disappointing. Like it's not bad. It's just you notice a little bit that it's not as tight as all the other ones.
On the bright side, at least you only have the one with the loose joints.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, they're not even loose. They're just looser than the Studio Series.
Like I really want
Yeah.
the sweep, but also I haven't been able to bring myself to go look for it until today. And that was only because I wanted to go out for lunch and Walmart just happened to be right beside of it.
All I saw today was Bumblebee movie Thrust.
Oh, I saw so many of those.
Yeah.
So that was the only Transformer I got, but I did get from Hasbro Pulse some Power Rangers Lightning Collection cogs.
Nice.
So, they're nice. They come with alternate attack heads. That's nice. And I picked up some retro Marvel Legends. So I got Legends carded Doctor Doom.
Ooh.
Nice.
Ooh, nice.
Is that's older though, isn't it? That's been out for a while, hasn't it? Or is that brand new?
It might have come out last year.
Okay, because I think I have it.
Yeah, you do.
Okay. I'm like, oh crap, I need that, but I think I have it.
I don't think you do. You better get one.
That's
Yeah,
what
you
it came in.
better go on eBay
It
right
came in
now.
an outer box, didn't it? The white outer box.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
I've got it. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've got it. Okay.
Matt, stop helping.
And I also picked up retro carded Electro and Mysterio
Ooh.
to keep in. I would like to eventually get a retro carded entire Sinister Six.
Mhm.
And Sandman is I don't know if he's available to pre-order, but he's coming on card, and Hobgoblin was just announced.
Yeah.
So that's 2/3 of the way there, because I prefer my Sinister Six with less Craven and more Hobgoblin.
I saw the
Craven
picture of
sucks.
that Hobgoblin. It looks really nice.
There's not a
Yeah.
Craven yet, is there?
No,
Yeah.
because Craven sucks. He only ever had one good story.
So actually, I do want to point out one of my favorite things that Dan Dan Slott did. Pretty sure it's Dan Slott in his massive Spider-Man run. When he brought back Craven, Spider-Man just beat the utter living hell out of him. It was just hilarious that Craven.
Yes, Craven, like Jason Todd before him, is just far more interesting as a dead character.
Yeah.
Made a good supporting character in Squirrel Girl, though. That was fun.
And I think that's it for me for this week.
Cool. Okay. Anybody else?
I got some stuff. I got a shipment from Hasbro Pulse today. I was hoping it was going to be Transformers related, but it was the Luke Skywalker in this book style packaging. I don't know. I guess this is a comic, Luke Skywalker. It was
I
like
think
5
that was
years.
I think that was an actual novel.
Yeah. So, it's kind of underwhelming, but
I like how
Is what it is.
Diecast buys this stuff, and yet he has no idea what the context of what he's buying is.
Wait, what did you buy? I was looking at Discord.
Luke Skywalker.
Black Series, Heir to the Empire, Luke Skywalker.
Oh, okay. So that's the expanded universe stuff, right?
Yes, the box is actually the novel cover.
Yeah.
This I have to mention because someone very nice on Twitter, I'm not going to mention his name. I don't know if he
Why
wants
not?
his name mentioned, but picked me
It was
up.
Don, wasn't it?
No. Picked me up a Chrome Dome and she shipped him out. I can't believe how big this thing is. Like, it's bigger than Krang, and he's just shoved in there. I believe the box is bigger than Krang. He's super huge.
I saw
And
4 of those at Target.
Really?
And, yeah, I saw 4 of them, and I thought that a scalper was buying all 4, and it wasn't until I was leaving that I realized that they were actually just keeping them behind the electronics counter so that people don't steal them.
Which is frustrating because you look for them on the shelf, not behind
Yeah.
a counter.
The guy walked out with 1, and I thought he was buying all 4, but I'm done with that line, so. But yeah.
I don't even remember that
I'm not
character.
done with the line yet.
I don't.
So Matt, I don't know if you remember the two-parter Invasion of the Turtleoids, where they go the planet of the alien turtles.
I remember so very little about the cartoon
Is
itself.
that like season
it was-
7?
Yeah, I mean that was after the CBS
It's
run
4 or
started. So that
5,
would have
yeah.
been probably season. I think that was supposed to be like the start of season 5.
Yeah,
Technically.
sounds right.
I miss watching it
Um,
on Saturday mornings. I'm not gonna lie, I really didn't.
But yeah, so that two-parter was the origin of Chrome Dome. Also, the mini Technodrome that got a toy about a year after that. That all.
Which Chrome
that's
Dome
before-
built.
Wow.
Did
About
Chrome
that.
Dome build it, or did they build him in it? I can't.
He's the
remember.
foreman. He commanded the foot soldiers to build it or other things to build it.
Wow.
And then
Yes,
the last thing,
They built a 25-foot tall robot to build their tiny Technodrome 2.
It's a lot like driving to the Arctic Circle to dig up Skyfire to fly you to South America.
Yes. Oh, and again, sorry, he didn't build it. He was just the general contractor.
Yeah.
and then last thing I got I don't know why, this big guy from Thor Ragnarok, the Infinity Saga
Surtur.
Is
Surtur.
that how do you say it?
Surtur.
Surtur.
Surtur?
That's a nice looking
I-
toy, but it's the cinematic stuff, so I don't need it.
Yeah,
But with Surtur, it kind of doesn't matter because it could work as
yeah.
a comic.
But like I see it and I see Surtur from the movie, and it just to me it doesn't fit necessarily the same aesthetic.
I think I was more interested in this just because the design factor on it is not something we normally get in a toy. I like it. It's weird.
It's big. What was it? $50?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I think he's 12 inches tall.
Mm.
He's about a foot.
That's a great scene when he shows up in the beginning of the movie. That's a great
Yep.
movie.
Yes, it is.
But yeah, it's one of my favorites. That's all I got.
Anybody else got anything?
I got one thing, which is off topic, but I'll talk about it
Sure.
anyway. First time I tried to get a PS5, I failed, and like 10
Oh, me
minutes later, 10 minutes later, Nintendo held their direct and released, like on the spot, the Castlevania Advanced Collection for the
Mhm.
Switch. And I picked that up. That is really nice.
I picked it up on Switch and on my Xbox because I'm an idiot, so I can play it both. It's
That's our
great.
Kilby.
Yep.
Yep. But yeah, I really like that. One of the main reasons I got it is because Harmony of Dissonance's soundtrack originally on the Game Boy Advance was very low quality. I think they actually said at one point that they dropped the quality of the sound so that they could, put more,
Yeah.
more into the graphics. There is a slightly higher quality version of the soundtrack available on the collection. It's not a world of difference, but it definitely sounds less tinny. It basically sounds like it was composed for the NES, which is what I, thought back then, but it still, still just had that kind of really scratchy kind of sound to it, which it doesn't here.
I mean, I love the Castlevania soundtracks on the NES, and like at least with Akajumo, whatever, Castlevania 3 on the Famicom. I mean, it sounds amazing on the Famicom with the added sound channels.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was playing it a couple days ago, and it just sounds so great.
Yeah, so that's the primary reason I got this, but they're all, decent games in their own right. Aria of Sorrow is absolutely the best of the bunch, but Harmony, Harmony is not bad, and Circle of the Moon certainly plays better here than it did when it first came out on a non-backlit Game Boy Advance.
Yeah,
So,
when Circle of the Moon came out, people didn't like the fact that you couldn't see it on the original GBA, but otherwise people thought it was amazing because it was the first, in that series. It's not as fondly remembered now, but I still think it might be my favorite of the three, mostly just because it just feels the most, in my mind, what Castlevania is to me. But I mean, otherwise, Aria is fantastic, and it's much more of a modern Castlevania. I didn't expect Dracula X to be on that. I was surprised
No,
by that.
I didn't either. Yeah, it's the SNES version of Dracula X for people who don't know. Japanese version was called Dracula Double X, so you could actually tell them apart a little bit better. But it is not Rondo of Blood. It is not the PC Engine one. It is a separate game they made that is a little bit
Based
more
on it,
linear.
sort
Yeah,
of.
it's based on it, but it's a little bit more linear. But it's a pretty solid, old style Castlevania game, and it's worth checking out if you're getting it for the Game Boy Advance games anyway.
It's not as good as Rondo of Blood. And Limited Run Games is apparently releasing Rondo of Blood on the PC Engine this year, or Super CD 3 or whatever the version is. So I'm excited about that.
Man, I wish I hadn't sold my TurboGrafx like 20 years ago, but stuff in the box and everything.
Magic Engine, I think you can still buy it, the emulator for the TurboGrafx. It's been around for like 20 years. I love it, and you can play the CD-based games using that.
Okay, good to know. Because that was I was going somewhere with that, and my brain just sorted it out. So, but that's the only thing I got this week. But I am definitely enjoying it, even though I've reached that part in Harmony of Dissonance where I am not quite sure where to go next, and wherever I'm going, it has to be on foot across 2 castles. So.
I've never actually finished Harmony of Dissonance. That's the only one of like the Game Boy Advance and DS games I haven't finished. And I've got a save on my Game Boy Advance, I'm gonna finish it there before I try to play it, on my TV.
Makes sense, but yeah, it does drag in the middle. I'll admit that. It gets a little obtuse about where you're supposed to go next,
I got so bored in trying to backtrack and figure out where in the hell I was supposed to go. I just quit.
Yeah, let me tell you that the one argument there might be for just moving to the Switch version is it feels a lot more comfortable to be hammering the shoulder buttons to dash on the Switch Classic controller than it does an actual Game Boy Advance SP.
I bet, yeah.
So you can cover a lot more ground a lot quicker that way.
That makes sense.
But yeah, that's what I got this week.
Sweet. Anybody else? No. Okay, I got stupid stuff. I'll just talk about it.
That's our Kilby.
So, typically, if it's Hasbro, I consider it on topic. So I think I only have like one Transformers related thing. But my kids this year, the 2 oldest are going to be Ghostbusters, and the youngest is going to be the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. So we got the Walmart costumes of the Ghostbusters, but like the proton pack and everything, they're inflatable and I don't like them. So for the new Ghostbusters toy line, they did a proton pack and blaster or the wand. So I got 2 of the proton packs, one of the wand and one of the blasters. The other's coming tomorrow, and last week I had the PKE meter. I'm getting another PKE meter. I passed on. I found the entire wave 2 of the Plasma series today, and I passed on it because I hate that line. I think it looks horrible. But Ghostbusters is my favorite movie. I just gave away a challenge question to a bunch of people, but Ghostbusters. I love Ghostbusters. But I don't know that I really care for what I see with Afterlife, and especially I don't want the Plasma series toys of it. But the new Ghostbusters line, you can make all those characters, even the ones I don't care about, in that line, and I'll buy them because I love the. It's not real Ghostbusters, but it's more in that vein, more in a cartoony vein than the Plasma series, and I love all the stuff. So, I guess stuff will belong to the kids instead of me once they get it. So I might have to buy myself some more, but they'll have that. Also, in that line, Kim today found the Ghostbusters Muncher Ghost. Didn't have that. And she also found Slimer. I didn't have Slimer from the line either. She found the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, which I had, so now I have 2. Let's see here. Was there anything else Ghostbusters related? No. G.I. Joe stuff. I'll just talk about this real quick. 2 more of the retro 4-inch or 3 3/4 inch Cobra Troopers came.
How many you have now?
6 or 10 or something like that. Let's see here. Another of the classified Cobra Troopers. So if the Cobra trooper is not the infantry or whatever, now I think I have 4, which I spent a year trying to get 1. So thank you, people, for including myself, complaining to Hasbro that we couldn't get that stuff. They have made it easy to find. I realized that to complete Classified, that I had to get the Snake Eyes movie stuff. So I have Storm Shadow. I found it at Walmart. And the Baroness. They'll never get opened.
I saw like a whole case of those just this afternoon.
Snake Eyes will be here in a couple of days, so I'll have all of those. So, and I have Scarlet on order, and I don't know that there's anything else for the movie out.
Did anyone see the movie?
Nope.
No. There's at least one more, Brian.
Like, I think it was in theaters for like 2 weeks. So
Yeah.
Well, I think that's
Did not last
slightly
long.
longer. I think that's slightly longer than Gem and the Holograms lasted in theaters.
Yeah. One more G.I. Joe item. I saw this at Walgreens, and I think the assortment's code name is Olympus. It's like a shampoo bottle, Storm Shadow. There's a Snake Eyes as well. There's a Transformers series on the line, similar line at Walgreens as well, and I can't remember what the code name is for that, but that was was on the shelf tag. I'm gonna go back and actually see what's included. I didn't know about these until I saw them. So the Transformer stuff, Hasbro doesn't make hay really when it comes to like the what's the term they use? Segment 6, Market 6, or what?
It used to be Market 6, but like the factors that made it be Market 6 don't really exist anymore.
Right.
So
Like the crap that we don't normally buy. They don't really
Yeah.
share. They don't like talk about the shampoo bottles or evergreen stuff or anything like that. So I don't actually know what it is until I see it. So I'm gonna keep going to Walgreens and find it. I'll do
I
the.
mean, they barely talk about Cyberverse, really.
I know.
right.
It's true. Yeah. So this is something I got recently, but I got another one because I'm hoarding this crap. I'm horrible, but it's the it's the Superlink Paradron type aerial.
You got another
I
one?
got another one. It was super cheap, so now I have 2. I'm building an army. Yeah. So buying stuff from Japan. I rebought stuff that I shouldn't have rebought, but it's so cheap. I want to talk about this real quick. So, pal and patron, pal primarily, Kevin, works at one of my favorite companies, and he sent me a bunch of swag when I bought. Actually, I'll talk about what I bought from him. He has been trying to sell his Bumblebee Worlds Collide Black Arachnia. And I'm like, if you don't sell it, I'll buy it because I love the look of it, and that's probably the only one I really want to open from that set. So I got it, and in the box he included a bunch of Wawa swag. So there's like a couple of bags. So that one looks really great. A pennant, a koozie, a can koozie. A coffee mug, and 2 pairs of glasses. One is a pair of sunglasses.
Why did I think you were going to say 2 pairs of underwear?
I don't know. One's a pair of sunglasses, and the other is like this. I haven't looked to see if it's 3D. No, it's not. So this is kind of like the X-ray specs. I thought it was more like Valiant Vision when I looked at it, but now that I'm looking at it in the light, it's really like X-ray specs that you used to be able to get out of comic ads. So it says Wawa. It came in the can, the coffee mug. So I guess this came with that, so it's included. But that was cool. It just looks really neat. So Kevin, yeah, seriously, thank you. That made my day. I was not expecting that. The box was much bigger than it needed to be when I got it. It was heavier. I'm like, Black Arachnia's gained weight. Oh, one more Ghostbusters thing. I found this. It is the Ghostbusters mini puffed popper. So it's it shoots little foam marshmallows. Yeah.
Yeah, the Ghost Popper lives again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's so many of those Ghost Poppers on the shelves right now. Walmart's were clearancing them. I ended up buying a few of those for like $10. I bought so much
That never made
Ghostbusters
it to
crap.
clearance around here, oddly.
Yeah, like one Walmart does not have them on clearance. The other Walmart had them on deep clearance. Another Walmart had them on mixed clearance. Like halfway between. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, so
I wish it was not such a project for me to get to stores. Jeez.
Yeah.
yeah, so that's what I got. Let's see here. Did anybody else lose audio? Night Sword is
No.
asking. Hopefully not. It looks like I still have audio in my recording. That's why people are hearing
that's a
this
good
right
sign.
now. Yes. So, yeah. So that's the perils of live streaming. So, go to patreon.com/tfradio if you want to help out. Again, if you're a patron, it's a touch tier. We will mention you every week on the show, and you can find the names at tfradio.net/credits. And if you're in the touch tier, you can be on the History on the Fives podcast that Rob hosts every week. And even if you're not a touch patron, we have other tiers. And like I said, we're producing way more content for Patreon at this point, really, than we are just in general. I have mixed feelings on that because one, I like, like the RFC stuff that we do, the news desk that is open to everybody. RFC is open to everybody. But I definitely, for the people that help us out, I do like producing some exclusive stuff. So we do 2 weekly podcasts. One is, again, our pre-show. 2 is History on the Fives, and our monthly podcast throwback we're getting back to. So that's a lot of stuff. So patreon.com/tfradio. And again, we want to thank our touched patrons. I mentioned him just a minute ago, but Kevin Dorsey. Kevin, thank you for being a patron and a friend, and for sending me Wawa stuff. You don't have to be a patron to send me Wawa stuff, but if you want to. So Ryan Bona, Cheesy Patty, all friends, Emmett Stresovich, Rabbits, Hector Bones, not sure about that Ness guy.
No, there's something shifty about that guy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yes.
Joey Russell, Jason Hiley, Mike Mallory, Jay Rye. Again, a lot of these folks are on our Discord right now. Jay has been providing feedback during the show and helping out. Sean Hamilton, Jacob. I didn't see Sean in the chat. Must be asleep. Jacob Owen Lucia, Sean Bratton, or Boomer. During doing History on the Fives, everybody calls him Boomer except for me, so I moved to Boomer just to differentiate between he and Sean Hamilton. Spider Bob.
Do that.
Yeah, it helps out a lot. It just makes things a lot easier. Frank, or Black and White Now in Color, Nate Wilson, Cybertron Toys, Tyrell Gwynn, and thank you for joining this week, Paul Schreiber. So thank you for being a touched patron. You are truly touched, and if you want to be on History on the Fives, just reach out. We'll set you up. Okay, and again, Amazon, tfradio.net/Amazon. That really helps out too. And, you just buy the stuff that you always buy. It takes more of it now than it ever has, more of those sales to help out, but it still helps out.
If you're going to pick up those golden disc collection things, go hit the News Desk Podcasters affiliate links for those.
Sweet. Yes. Yeah, patreon.com/tfradio and tfradio.net/Amazon, the 2 ways you can help out. So thank you. And also tfradio.net/shirt. I cannot forget about that. You can have an awesome shirt like this RSC shirt that, if you see, it's reversed on my camera on the video that I am showing. So, in Diecast, were you showing off a shirt?
Yep.
Same one.
Sweet. Except for yours is not reversed, because on my side, my camera is reversed so that I know which side to scratch. But the trick is, I already know which side to scratch because that's where the itch is. Okay. You can find us on Twitter at TF Radio and on Instagram at TF Podcast. I've been logging into Instagram again. I need to start posting more pictures of toys. But I've been trying to do some more interacting there. And you can find our website, of course, at tfradio.net and at facebook.com/tfradio. We're everywhere, basically. Of course, if you have a Roku, you can watch us on your Roku at tfradio.net/Roku. You can install it right from your browser, and you log in. You just open up your Roku, and it's right there. I'm personally on Twitter at bkilby. and on Instagram at Brian Kilby. And I have other stuff at briankilby.com. I got a couple of podcasts I'm recording over the next week. And
Happy day.
So I actually got a phone call from a collaborator that I have on the Happy Day podcast, Harold Vanoy. Harold and I had a good conversation, and we're, making amends, and hopefully he'll be back on the podcast. He just, I think he and I had a falling out over something. I don't know what, but I think we're going to get back together and have a good old time. So, but yeah, so that'll be a lot of fun. Don rage quit during pre-show, but you can find him at HMRC, the number 4 EVR. John, how do people get a hold of you?
Fat John D everywhere.
Everywhere. Chris.
You can follow me on Twitter at ChrisRTXV to find out which side to scratch. If you want to do just random acts of kindness for me, I have an Amazon wish list at tfradio.net/ChrisList. And if you're interested in my toy photography work, that's on Twitter at PlayWithPhotos. I'm not actually looking at my cheat sheet, but I ought to have this memorized by now. I just don't. Twitter, is at PlayWithPhotos, and playwithphotography.com for my collected galleries and such. And if you'd like to show some support for that, you can do that at patreon.com/playwithphotos for as little as $2 per month.
Cool. Let's see here. Rob.
I can be found on Twitter at Figure Reviewers and Rob Flails. Rob Flails is the Twitter for Flail Throughs, my YouTube channel. I mostly cover Gundam gaming related things. At the moment, Gundam Battle Operation 2, which is about to get a lot prettier once that PS5 shows up. And this week they are adding a spectator mode so that people can host a match and just watch rather than playing, and switch between various players' cameras and, just observe. They're also adding the Masala from Zeta Gundam, which is long overdue. And looks like it should be fun. So Thursday mornings, you can check out youtube.com/flailthroughs to see the weekly GBO2 update. G Generation Genesis, which is a SD Gundam strategy game and was a gift from Chris. That'll be on the weekends still. And if you like what I'm doing over there, patreon.com/flailthroughs to request rounds, throw money at me, whatever. And for, throw more solid things at me, books, games, whatever else I put on there, tfradio.net/playlist.
Sweet. And Diecast.
You can follow me on Twitter at Diecast2. You can see my reviews at tfradio.net/reviews. And you can also like my Facebook page at Reviews by Diecast. And I also have an Amazon wish list, tfradio.net/diecast list.
Sweet. Rob Springer not here. Rob Springer on Twitter and at zonebase.org. I don't think we have anything else. I think we're done.
We're done.
We'll be back next week. We will see you later. Okay. Stop recording there.
Time to call Don.
We should call Don. Okay, so let's give it a second and for me to wake back up. How are things? Okay, so I am going to go ahead and people watching live, I'm going to dump the stream so we can do some extra recording. So
see everybody.
Okay, cool. So people on YouTube, we'll see you later. Bye, YouTube.